Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Missteps that's still going on today. Now, I want to be positive because I'm excited about some of these future releases, and I feel like they're getting the line on track, but that's still 8-9 months down the road till we start seeing the fruits of those labors. But today, I'm going to talk about a few of these missteps that Hasbro is doing, including the handling of this really hard to get Masters of Disguise Zartan, but more specifically, the mainline release, the withholding of information about ordering or availability of the next two figures, the Alley Viper and the Bat, causing some confusion and irritation in the community. But like I said, I'm trying to be positive. I'm going to end it on a positive note, and I'm also going to offer suggestions coming up. Alright, so my first issue is with this Master of Disguise. Now, a lot of people think I'm being petty because I didn't get one. And there's a little bit of that involved. I'm not going to lie. I mean, if you get shafted, you're a little irritated about it. I was there. I put my whole family on hold on a Saturday afternoon. No, we can't leave yet. I have to sit here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, nope. Sit here till 4 o'clock in the afternoon and order this thing. And then, at 2 minutes in, it was sold out. 5 minutes in, it was still sold out. I spent the rest of my day doing other things, not sitting in front of the computer. Evidently, other people benefited by sitting in front of the computer. But it shouldn't be that hard to get this thing. And I was like, well, I understand it's exclusive. We have the regular mainline one. But then I like to punish myself, and I watched reviews of this. So one of the reviews I watched was MCU Collector. Now, if you want to check him out, I think it's MCU Collector 24 or something like that. Great review of it. And one of the things that he did was show them side by side. The Masters of Disguise is on the left and the standard mainline release on the right. Now, I remember getting the mainline release one and saying, oh, well, Hasbro didn't make it look like the original because I made a bunch of excuses. I'm part of the problem. My excuses were they're too incompetent, they don't care enough about the line and the characters, and all these excuses I made, well, there's no real excuse for it because looking at them side by side, there's no reason he couldn't have the right color of the legs. They got the handkerchief color right, but they didn't get the hood and the legs right, but they do it for this one here. So I started thinking, why? Why are they doing this? Now, I could understand a higher price point for all of the additional paint apps, but the coloration, was it 8 cents more to get a little red to it or something like that? And so the more I think about it, the more irritated I get, and I think, okay, well, what other figure out there has this same color scheme? See, the first one looks like he's going to a funeral. Zartan funeral version, and the other one looks correct. But what other figure out there? Is there another figure that follows this color scheme and was a $20 price point? And yes, Major Blood. Now, it's a slightly different color variation, but still in the burgundy, reddish, brownish area. And they did it. They were able to pull it off with Major Blood, but they couldn't do it with Zartan. It's not that they couldn't do it. It's even worse and more sinister than that. See, when they first came out with the first original Zartan, they said it was going to have color change in it. They said in a live stream it's going to have color change. We finally get it. It doesn't have color change, and people were upset about it, including myself. But I accepted it. I was like, you know what? I'm probably not going to take it in the sun or whatever. And it turns out you got to put it in the fridge. Okay, whatever. But they said it was going to have color change, and it didn't. But now this Master of Disguise one does, and now that tells me it's all coming together. They've planned this from the beginning, and there's a term for what they just did. The term is called planned obsolescence. So from the get-go, from the very beginning, they planned to make the mainline release obsolete when the higher-priced, better version that gave a better representation of the character, when it released at almost double the price, nobody would want this anymore. Planned obsolescence. And they're both separately numbered. It's shady business tactic that they did, and it wouldn't have bothered me quite as much if they would have made the other one readily available, but they didn't. So now it's a double shady business practice. Now, I told you I was going to offer you a solution for every one of these issues, and I'm not a liar. I am offering you a solution for every one of these issues, and the solution is 2 hours of time, an extremely steady hand, and paint your original $20 figure to look like the $36.99 figure. Now, I used what's called a rust color, and that was the reddish, brownish color and I actually mixed in a little bit of red. I think standard rust would have probably even been better. I tried to match my handkerchief that I had as close as I could, which obviously it didn't, but the bright lights bring out the differences in a little bit duller light. It looks very similar. But this was a lot of work. 2 hours of my time dedicated to this to get what I still feel is an inferior result to getting a Master of Disguise. But since Hasbro won't ever allow me in my lifetime to own the Master of Disguise, I did the next best thing. You could do the same. Now remember, I'm trying to stay positive here. So I am looking forward to the Alley Viper. I'm looking forward to the Bat. But we had a situation this past week where I guess a case of these showed up, and I don't know how they're packed. Are they packed 3 in each case or something like that? Or are they each separate case packed? Nobody knows any of this stuff yet. But how does this stuff hit Walmart? Well, it hit Walmart, and it showed up as Apollo and I think Satellite. So there were a listing for Apollo, listing for Satellite. Somebody bought 2 of each and then was able to put up pictures or something of the packaging, which is great. Thanks. Great. I don't know about you, but I'm not exactly excited for it because of the fact that I can't get it and we have no forward guidance on when we're going to be able to pre-order this. Well, I placed my pre-order in December, January, February, or March to get these in July or August. So that the release date's July and August or something like that. But they're already in the US. They're already in the system. It's frustrating and irritating to collectors, especially when you're kept in the dark. Why are we kept in the dark? Why does this stuff keep happening? And they're not just transparent and say, hey, you know what? A couple of cases slipped through or something like that, but we don't have enough for everyone. We're going to wait until put pre-orders up in January so that we know we can fill those pre-orders. That kind of stuff collectors appreciate and have respect for. Not this nonsense. My solution is jump on the pre-order as soon as they're up. As soon as pre-orders come up for these things like I did with the Officer, I'm going to pass the information along to you guys as soon as the information is up. And I hope that the community does the same for everyone else. So that's all I can say is stay dialed into it. It does kind of suck, but stay dialed in, pay attention. Troop builders sell very well, and these are all troop builders that are going to sell very well. I was shocked the Officers sold out so fast at most of the places. I think you might still be able to get it at BBTS and those kind. But overall, these troop builders are hard to get your hands on. Since the What's on Joe's Mind podcast was right about everything on their list, I'm going to assume that everything that's left is still coming. So we've got Zarana, the sister of Zartan, and of course a prominent character in the movie of the 1987 version movie. I think it's a pretty good figure idea. It's a pretty good selection of a character. Although I would have rather had, the first 3 Dreadnoks more than her before her. I feel we're going to get them all anyway. So it's kind of nice. They're kind of jumping around timelines and stuff. So with that, is she just going to be kind of a reuse of the other girls we've already gotten? Or is she going to be her own new thing? Like completely own new thing? I think they can still kind of use the female buck kind of the way they've been going. And that would be fine. And then add on some of the extra gear that they've been doing. So that works. So I kind of look forward to her. And I expect that she's going to come. So looking at this, I do want to see a nice shelf full of Dreadnoks. That would be awesome. That would be outstanding. I'd be really excited for all of that. So what's the next one on the list they have? They have a Dusty, and hopefully it's the classic Dusty, and I guess we get his wolf or whatever. I don't know. Will they make this a deluxe? Will this just be one of the standard ones? Will his dog be small enough that you don't have to pay deluxe price? Or will they just leave the dog out? I mean, we really don't know. The wolf, yeah, I know. I get in trouble when I call a wolf a dog. But anyhow, I remember Dusty as a kid. But here's what I think's really going to happen. Let me tell you what I think's really going to happen with the Dusty figure. Dusty's going to get the Tiger Force treatment. I believe somewhere along the line, any figure that can get to Tiger Force will get Tiger Force. Now, I don't know if they're all going to be first, like the Tiger Force comes first like the Outback did, and then the standard one comes later. We don't really know. But maybe we get the standard one first with Dusty, and then we get the Target Tiger Force down the road. I'm perfectly fine with that if that's what happens. I just don't want it to have broken crotch. But I really do think it's a good idea to have Target exclusive Tiger Force, because not everybody loves Tiger Force. Just be honest, not everybody likes Tiger Force. So anyway, that's probably what's going to happen. Next one on the list is the Crimson Guard, and I do want to say that I used to not care about Crimson Guards for whatever reason, and now as an adult collector in my vintage collection, I have a handful of these guys. They look really cool because they're different, and I like the different look. They still look very military-esque, and yet that crimson look about them just makes them stand out and stand out on the shelf. And I like the look of them. So I kind of wonder how they're going to do this figure. What's their take on the Crimson Guard going to be? And with the Crimson Guard, are we going to get Tomax and Xamot also with that as like a special 2-pack? And so that's another thing that people are questioning, like, when are we going to get the twins? Are they coming? But we're sticking with what I see on the list here, and I see on this list, we're going to get this Crimson Guard. Hopefully Tomax and Xamot are also on that. But obviously another troop builder, another one that people are going to want like 6, 8, 10 of these things. Yeah. I mean, I really don't... I think 6 is where I'm maxed out at a troop building level. Like 6 bats is all I need. 6 of this would be all I need. I don't know why I have more than 6 troopers. But still, this is a really cool looking idea. The design of this, I'm just curious how they go with it. Because I think this would fit their more kind of futuristic aesthetic better than some of the other classic figures. And lastly, I do want to talk about, on their list, they had the Viper and Viper Officer 2-pack. So I think that's a good idea to put out a Viper and a Viper Officer 2-pack. Of course, it'll probably have its own number 2 and all that kind of stuff. But the Viper is really cool, and when you really step back and look at it, it's one that looks ultra classic, but it has a modern design and uptake. So I really like the idea of that. I do have a couple of Vipers. It was really almost impossible for me to get these, but I got them. I got some Vipers myself. I was excited about that, and so I'm even more excited about a 2-pack coming. Some openers. I'd love opening 2-packs more than just the single ones, but anyhow, let me know what you think about all of this stuff. Are you having any trouble getting the Masters of Disguise Zartan? Are you excited about the line? Are you even more irritated about not getting a Zartan or not getting what you didn't get? Or did you pre-order everything and you're excited going forward and looking forward to new reveals? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Teddy Hanger out.